Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Monday Night Wars. I'm Brett Mix. This is the WCW side, week 21, February the 5th, 1996. This is the 23rd episode of Nitro, but the 21st week they go at it because there was 2 weeks where Raw wasn't on the air. So Raw did a 2.7 in this week, and Nitro did a 2.9, besting Raw for the second week in a row. So through 21 weeks, Nitro has won 10 times, Raw has won 9 times, and there's been 2 draws. So a 10-9-2 record for the WCW in that length of time. This is week 21 of the Wars, as I said. This is the episode that drew 2.9. It was the go-home show to Super Brawl 96, where Flair and Savage meet in the cage. Steve McMichael, Eric Bischoff, Bobby Heenan are the commentators. Nitro begins with Bischoff talking about how Nitro is the highest rated wrestling show in the world. This is the go-home show to Super Brawl. He thanks the fans for making Nitro number 1. Anyway, let's get to things. It's from the Lakeland Center Jenkins Arena in Lakeland, Florida, wherever that is. I'm from Canada, so Lakeland, Florida. I'm guessing it's on one of the coasts of Florida, Lakeland, or maybe not. Maybe not, since it's Lakeland, and that's the ocean I'm thinking of. I got it, don't worry. The opening match here is the Macho Man Randy Savage with Elizabeth and Woman versus Chris Benoit for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. So there's a intriguing match. Randy Savage is my favorite wrestler all time, and Chris Benoit is my favorite to watch in the ring, just behind Bret Hart. It's very close. They lock up and don't give any space for each other for the first half a minute. They stay locked. Horned. Benoit then gets Savage in a corner and chops away at the Macho Man's chest. Benoit torques his neck down and hits a snap suplex. It's hard to see Woman on the outside here. She's in Savage's corner, remember, and she's in a match involving Chris Benoit, and she's not even the manager. She's just watching him, and the commentary team say, Woman looks nervous, and she's looking nervous while she's saying that Chris Benoit be violent. I usually don't bring that stuff up when it comes to my reviews, but it's kind of hard not to think of it when you see Woman looking concerned and she's watching the man that murdered her. Brain damage or not, that's still hard to watch. And brain damage it was. Benoit in this match did a suicide dive. I swear to God, it was one of the worst collisions I've seen Benoit have. Money in the Bank 1 at WrestleMania 21. The match with Booker T on SmackDown in 2005, and the match with Jericho, the ladder match in 2001. There's 3 different moves there that probably killed Benoit's brain, but this one right here, he goes right into the metal guardrail with his head, and then it smacks the concrete, ricochets off the concrete right after it, and it's straight there with so much speed. No time for his hand to get anywhere. It was hard to watch. Benoit cracked his skull there. That was after Benoit had taken it to Savage. He targeted Savage's bad leg, but yeah, Benoit missed with the suicide dive, and it was just sickening. Savage ended up winning by DQ as after he hits the elbow drop from the top, the Horseman came out and spared Benoit the loss. 8-17, the Horseman, Savage wins at DQ at that time as the Horsemen come out and wear down Savage, and it was a plan all along. Woman then joins the Horsemen as Flair and the Horsemen are just picking apart Savage, as it was a plan all along for Woman to pretend to be with Savage. She's with the Horsemen, and they all got their shots in it because Benoit was even a Horseman at the time. So this is leading to the Flair Savage Super Brawl. It's the go-home show, so they had all the Horsemen attack Savage, even though he wins by DQ. I gave the match 2.5 stars. Hogan and Liz in the ring after the match. Hogan said, we got to put a stop to Ric Flair, and then right as he turns around, Ric Flair's there, and he gives him a shot, and the Giant comes by. The Giant and Flair work on Hogan and reopen up his eye that it was busted up from the week before. Savage comes to the ring and asks Liz, why didn't you tell Hogan? What's with it? What's going on? And he's being all paranoid, and then Mean Gene was like, Randy Savage, he tried. And, so Liz was just like, hey, I tried to tell Hogan that Flair was right behind him. That's what Savage got mad about, that Liz didn't say, hey, Hogan, Flair's right behind you. So anyway, nonetheless, the Horsemen move on. Hogan wants the Giant at Super Brawl. Flair wants Savage. Savage wants Flair. Giant wants Hogan. Hogan wants Giant. That's the end result. The bottom line. The Four Horsemen versus the Dungeon of Doom. Hugh Morris and the Taskmaster take on Arn and Pillman. This is a match where Sullivan just whipped the hell out of Brian Pillman with a belt, saying he wants more respect out of Brian Pillman, and he's too much of a goof. Arn disciplines him enough, Arn says. So Arn and Sullivan have problems. Bischoff then shoots by saying on commentary, take the camera off Pillman if he goes after the camera guy again. And he was serious. I don't think he wanted the swearing, and Pillman's a loose cannon. He could have said anything. We all know how he said on the microphone, Booker Man, when he talked about Sullivan being the Booker. Called him a Booker Man on a live microphone. So what else is he going to say? He told the cameraman pretty much to fuck off. So Bischoff says, if that camera ever goes on Pillman again and he comes after you, take that right off. You get the truck. Don't shoot Pillman if he does that. That's a direct order from Bischoff. That's not just a commentary line. That's a direct order. Horseman win by DQ at this match as well, as it was just a clusterfuck at the end at 7:17. Sullivan whipped Pillman at the end and tried to teach him respect, I suppose. Next up, Nature Boy Ric Flair with Woman, now that Woman's on his side, takes on Marcus Alexander Bagwell, and Woman is, of course, Nancy Benoit. That's who was Woman, if people don't know. Paul Orndorff comes to the headset and says, now you never know when payback is going to happen. Okay, that was random. Flair and Bagwell get it on. Bagwell with a side headlock into a roll-up by Flair. Just a 2 count as he hits a standing side headlock now and then a bunch of shots. Flair then face flops in the ring, and his face flops are great entertainment and hilarious and terrible, but with his mushroom haircut, Ric Flair, they just look 10 times worse. I don't know why, but they do. That's what I'd ask myself live if I was watching this show live, is this man's going to be the 13-time world champion at Super Brawl? This mushroom cut, face flopping 55-year-old, whatever he was at the time. Ric Flair was past his prime at this time, and this is like 30 years ago. So I mean, Ric Flair, yeah, he's definitely up there in a lot of things. Bagwell turned the offense on Flair. Flair then took some suplexes and took a superplex actually off the top rope, which was pretty good. Flair then slaps the figure 4 leg lock in the middle of the ring and gets the victory. Savage runs into the ring afterwards, and after he helped Hogan to the hospital, he came back, says Bischoff, and Savage went after Flair to get revenge from earlier in the night. Rated the match a star and a half, I should say. Macho Man and Flair brawled to the back. Then the main event is Luger and Sting versus the Road Warriors for the Tag Team Championship. Road Warriors come out in their 1996 blue colors, WCW. Animal ties up with Sting, who hits a running bulldog, and then Sting flies off with a clothesline. Luger comes in to take on Hawk, power on power, reverse Irish whip to the corner, and then a boot to the face. Hawk with a shot, Hawk chops Sting to the other corner. Hawk with a chop is reverse Irish whipped into the other corner. Sting then tags in Luger. Luger comes in with a power slam over to Animal. Animal then tags in Hawk. Hawk goes to work on Lex. Hawk with a front face lock on on Luger. Then the lights went off. They had technical difficulties. The power came back on, and WWE Network, I guess, says we're going to join this match and process for as well as it can be joined. So the big bulk of the match came out, so I'm not going to rate this match. I don't do that with matches that get taken away, just like I don't review weeks with Raw or Nitro not on the air. I'm reviewing the Monday Night Wars, so the point is to have both shows, and that's relevant in 30 seconds. I'll explain why. Sting and Luger retained the titles in the end, as Jimmy Hart got involved, and Luger takes his megaphone and hits the Road Warriors from behind, and Sting didn't like the way Luger retained the titles at 8:37. No rating for the match. Sting didn't like because wasn't in the complete form. Sting and Luger retained over the LOD, and the LOD want the winners of Harlem Heat, Sting and Luger, after Super Brawl. So, yeah, me and Gene interviewed the Road Warriors afterwards, and that's what it said. Bischoff promotes Super Brawl, and that's that. So next week, Raw is not on the air, and I'm going to do this before this video reaches 10 minutes, as I keep all my videos under 10 minutes. But Nitro I'm not reviewing because Raw is not on the air. Randy Savage defeated Hugh Morris. Loch Ness defeated Scotty Riggs. Conan defeated Devin Storm, and Arn Anderson defeated Hogan. Those are the results to the Nitro I won't be reviewing because Raw was not on that week, but it drew a 3.7 rating, did Nitro, and in the week that I didn't review. So I'll come back with the 22nd week of the Wars, February 19th, in the next review. Thanks so much for watching this one. I'm Brett Mix, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.